What's going on, everybody? It's Ian with Getting Worked. Part two of the Royal Rumble. I'm going to cover the Women's Royal Rumble and then the final match of the night, the Bloodline. Roman Reigns versus KO and all the Sami drama that you can imagine. It finally happened, people. It happened. So we'll start with the Women's Royal Rumble and then we'll get to that. All right, the Women's Royal Rumble. I'm going to do this one a little bit differently than I did with the men. I'm just going to, as I name off everyone in the order that they entered, I'm just going to talk a little bit about some of them and see kind of the spots that they had and the ones that stood out anyhow. Some of them I'll just kind of roll through, but that'll give you an idea of sort of where I'm going with it. This starts off, it's Rhea Ripley's show. It is Rhea Ripley from the start to the end. It is about making her the star, and they do that. She does excellent. Her ascension, obviously, it started quite a while ago. It is continuing. She's shooting up the charts. She's a star. She is a bona fide star. No questions asked here. This Royal Rumble only solidified all of that. She was the first entry. The second entry is Liv Morgan. Personally, I'm not a big Liv Morgan fan. She seems like this will sound harsh. I don't mean it as such. She's sort of like knockoff Alexa Bliss, and Alexa Bliss is just so great. That Liv, they're similar size, similar build, similar look. Liv naturally pales in comparison to her, so it makes Liv seem a lot less than she is. But she just doesn't, honestly, she just doesn't really move the needle for me. So she was there. She did really well. She had her spots. Moving on. Dana Brooke was the third participant. She was also there. She was an also there type of a person. Emma came out. She was number 4. Shayna Baszler was number 5. And I'm going to tell you, I love Shayna. Shayna gives such legitimacy when she's in the ring. Like the whole Ronda Rousey thing, I think people kind of soured on that type of a person. But if you use them right, they're so good. And I think she's better. She's not the star, the outside star that Ronda was. But I think she's more of a WWE type wrestler. They could do so much more with her. I hope they get that right. I hope they get it right. She needs to be pushed as being the badass that she is, quite frankly, is what it kind of comes down to. So basically all the things that I was sort of saying about Liv kind of not living up and stuff like that is almost the dead opposite as far as Shayna. So anyhow, hope she gets the push. Looking forward to it. Please get it right. Next came Bayley. It's going to be Bayley and Becky at the WrestleMania, right? I mean, who else is there? It's going to be the two of them. And everything about the Rumble pointed toward that. Then you had B-Fab at number 7. Roxana Perez is number 8. Dakota Kai was number 9. Io Sky. Natalia, actually, I really enjoyed her entrance. So her entrance was a bit of a throwback to her dad, Jim the Anvil Neidhart, who had, it was her hat. You had to kind of see the whole outfit, but it was definitely a little bit of, hey, Dad, love you, to, her entire outfit and ring entrance. So that was always really cool to see. Then there was number 12 was Candice LeRae. 13 was Zoe Stark. 14 was Lee. 15 was Becky Lynch. 16 was Tegan Knox. 17 was Asuka. Asuka was one of the final 3, actually, and Asuka's awesome. It's just always great to have her in the ring. She is such the badass when she comes out there. Number 18 was Piper Niven. Okay, Piper, no dewdrop. It was a full-on Piper. She was the original, like she was in NXT. And they even made a small joke. I think it was Corey Graves. I want to say it's probably Corey. And he said something about her dropping someone. It was along those lines. And then there was no mention of that at all. There was no mention of dewdrop or anything like that. It was Piper, and that was it. And so that was number 18. Number 19 was Tamina. Nobody Mina. Then Chelsea Green was one of the surprise entrants. So Chelsea Green had been gone from WWE for a long time. Next, number 21 was Zelina Vega. Zelina Vega, she comes out in full cosplay. She was Yuri from Street Fighter. So she comes out full on cosplay. Again, go Google it. You'll see what she looked like. perfect. She looks awesome. Well, she looks awesome, period. But she was excellent in this, so it was good to see her in that. Number 22 was Raquel Rodriguez. Number 23 was Mission. Number 24 was Lacey Evans. Lacey Evans, not a favorite of mine, quite frankly. She doesn't kind of move the needle. She was there. She was okay. Number 25 was a funny spot. So Michelle McCool had been, who we know is married to The Undertaker, but wrestler in her own right. She had been shown earlier in the night in the crowd. So she was on the front row, and you know how they kind of pan the crowd. And she's like, oh, hey, you know, her kids are next to her, that type of thing. You don't see her anymore. That was early in the night. They showed her that. Well, then they announced Michelle McCool is, you know, number 25. And the camera comes to her and she's looking around like, me? What? It's me? I guess I'm ready. And she pulls off and hops over the barricade and is all sitting there. She has some cool pants on. She has some Undertaker pants. So they were black pants with like the purple cross on them. And so she gets in. It was fun. It was goofy. I had fun. That's the main thing with wrestling. You're supposed to have fun, right? Yeah. So that was good. Indy Hartwell was number 26. Sonya Deville was number 27. Shotzi, she was number 28. Nikki Cross. I love Nikki. Nikki is awesome. This Nikki. Not superhero, whatever. The crazy, manic, just intense, insane, or lacking sanity, I guess. Nikki, that one. She was in NXT when she did that. That was the one that she came out as. That's who she needs to be. I wanted to keep her like that. She needs to be in there. Maybe Sanity gets a real roster, an actual roster, main roster push this time. That would be great. And then 30th was funny for a lot of reasons. One of which was they didn't actually do the countdown for number 30. It was just like 30 is Nia Jax. No countdown, you know, everything, there's always a countdown. 8, 9, you know, so I can count. 8, 7, 6, so, you know, there's countdown, not up. Anyhow. But, so it's Nia Jax who comes out. Everybody's like, oh, okay. Woo. Anyhow, so Nia Jax comes through. She did not hurt anyone, so that is plus. That is good to hear. And so we'll move on from there. The entire group basically attacks her, all the women that are in the ring at the time, and eventually all of them throw her out. So she didn't last very long. That was probably best for everybody involved. But again, the star of the night by far was Rhea Ripley, becoming the first woman to go one all the way through and win the Rumble from the number 1 spot. So Rhea Ripley's your Women's Royal Rumble winner. I'm back. Get all that out. So she was a star. She's been a star. Her star is only getting brighter and brighter. Looking forward to seeing what's next. The last night of the match was Roman versus KO. The Bloodline, the Sami Zayn saga was coming to that apex. This is storytelling, long-term storytelling, done at its finest. This was so well done. The entire night, the entire months and months of storytelling that has gone on over the last, seems like a year about this point. So well done. I could not have asked for anything more to come from this. And it still can, it has exploded and still going. So the match itself was excellent. We live in a society that we always like that instant gratification, and we get so much of that now. To see this and how well it was done, it couldn't have been better. Could not have been better. So, like I said, the match itself, excellent. If you had just taken the match and taken everything else away from it and just had the match itself was excellent. There were spots all the way through. KO got his hits in. Roman got his shine. Both of them, did their thing. But the storyline that was there the whole time about, Sami, it was woven so perfectly through everything, even during the match. Again, could not have asked for more. At one point, the ref gets taken out and KO was down and Roman is looking around and he calls for Sami to go get a chair. And for the first time in the history of all wrestling, there was no metal chair around the ring to instantly just grab and throw into the ring. And Sami is frantically looking for it. And, again, he's that manic, oh my goodness, my boss is wanting something and I can't get it to him. He does it so perfectly. Finally finds a chair and he slides it into the ring. And by this time, Kevin has gotten up. So the spot, he misses the spot. Again, perfectly done. It was just one of those things right at the very end that it was even a perfect ending of how things went. So Roman wins, of course, and the celebration begins. And Jay, the look on Jay's face as he is finally able to take the lay and to make, to attempt to make Sami an official Uso, part of the bloodline, familia, all that. He was finally going to do it. And he gets to right at the point and Roman stops him and is like, actually, hang on, we still got some business to do. So they start beating up KO more and more, and each time's a little, more graphic. They put a chair around his neck at one point, and they kick him in the corner, and finally gets to the point where Kevin Owens is knocked out, and they're starting to strap his arm. They're handcuffing him, rather, to the ropes, both hands. And Roman's about to hit him with the chair, and Sami finally steps in. It's like, hey, Roman, you don't have to do this. You don't have to do it. You don't have to do this. Just stop. We can do something else. Roman, of course, gets angry. He berates him and finally comes out to Roman's like, no, you're going to hit him with the chair. And Sami's got the chair and he's waiting and waiting. I mean, you know what's coming, but just watching it again, everybody was so on point with everything about this. And Roman's smacking him in the face and pushing him and doing all this stuff. And finally, the disrespect, he hit that breaking point. And at this point, Roman must be just used to getting hit in the back of the head with chairs. He got turned on way back in the day with the Shield. He got hit in the back of the head. And then, so tonight, Sami finally, the chair shot heard around the world, popped him. Of course, the Bloodline jumped in and beat the crap out of him, as you expect them to do. Except there was a notable one guy who didn't. He didn't help him, but he didn't fight for or against him at that point. That was Jay. Jay stands back and you see the conflict. Jay's just angry in the corner. And so, again, perfectly done. Roman realizes this and is like, Jay, come on in here. Let's get this. And Jay's just like, no, I'm not having any part of this. Jay just walks off. It ends with Roman and Paul Heyman and Jimmy and Solo are all, standing tall and leaving the ring. Sami is in the ring laid out. Perfect visual. You have to kind of see the visual of the lay has been ripped apart. And so there's flowers all around him and he's laid out in the middle of the ring. Kevin's still stuck on the side. He's still handcuffed to the ropes. And that's how things go. This could not have been done any better. The one cool thing I actually got to thinking about after the fact. So Jay, this is, again, perfect storytelling, long-term storytelling, all the little seeds and things all the way through. You go, oh yeah, you remember. Jay, if you remember, was the whipping boy for the Bloodline for the longest time till Sami showed up. It was Jay. That was the one that was the whipping boy for all of it. All of Roman's little ego trips was always about Jay and how he wasn't the head of the table and all this other stuff. Jay realizes Sami had been going through all those things that he had been going through prior. Again, the story, all the pieces just coming together. So good. Cannot tell you how excited I am to see wherever this goes. You have your main star, you have, Roman, of course, but you also are building, you've got Sami now is shot up to the main event. Jay, depending on what he does, he could be now at least a high rise, breaking away from just the tag team division. So much can happen. Great storytelling. That's just behind the scenes wrestling. Me as the fan, I want to see where this goes. I want all of the story. Just like keep it coming. So anyhow, that was the show. That was where things end. Let me know what you thought. Let me know what you thought in the comments below. And yeah, the road to WrestleMania continues. So looking forward to it. Talk to you soon. Later, fam.